Thank you. Salamat sa introduction. Salamat sa invitation. Good morning. Graduates, parents, family members, friends, our dear teachers who are here, administrators, staff, and honored guests. It's my honor to be here today as the speaker in this very special occasion. And today we are here to witness the graduation of no less than the first batch. This is first batch of International Baccalaureate Diploma Program graduates of this school. So congratulations to all of you for this historic accomplishment. Today we celebrate not only the individual achievements of the students, but the success of the whole community. Their parents who are here, and teachers, school administrators and staff, family staff as well, our yayas, drivers, and everyone who helps out, down to the fishbowl vendors selling just outside the school gates. It truly takes a village to raise a child, and today we applaud this village. So, I take this opportunity to look back at my own high school occupation, which is now, I can't believe it, 17 years ago. And 17 years is hard to fathom when you're 17 years old, as I was then, and you are now, 17 or 18. So in fact, I could say it was impossible to fathom then, just as it is impossible now for you to imagine what you could be like in 17 years. For one, I would never have thought that our graduation speaker then, so I graduated from Science High School, and our graduation speaker for my batch, 2001, was a fellow Philippine Science alumni who is now Professor Pei Lim. I would never have thought that she would be my colleague and now research collaborator at the National Institute of Physics in UP Diliman. 17 years hence, I was just sitting there wide-eyed, and now we're actually writing a paper together with a student, with my student who's now doing his master's. If I knew, I would have paid more attention to what she said. I'm joking, of course. But then, I also couldn't imagine who I would become. I didn't know that I would become an astrophysicist. I knew I wanted to become a scientist, to pursue physics, but the details, they come later. And absolutely no one could imagine that I would be a data scientist because that profession didn't even exist then. It's so new, it started like in 2010 and it's only becoming mainstream these days. So who knows what you will become in 17 years' time? What professions will some of you take that do not even exist now? And I wonder if some of our paths will cross again, then, as it did for me and Professor Lim. It is impossible to foresee, but I, for one, am looking forward to finding out. I think as you will soon realize, if you haven't yet, it's a very small world. And I wouldn't be surprised, in fact, if I come to work with some of you in the future when you are all professionals as well. But until then, you have time. And this is what I want to share with you today. You have time to grow, time to grow up, and time to become who you are. And this time is called college, as I'm sure many of you are looking forward to. From what I hear, that's where all of you are heading, and you're very lucky. In fact, many of you, I hear, are even going abroad to study at some of the best universities in the world. Some of you may take this for granted, but it's not an opportunity that everyone gets. I know you know that cerebrally, but to know that in your heart and feel it in your bones is different. Because then, you really don't take it for granted. In fact, there are many who don't even get this luxury of time. Some are forced by circumstances to go straight to the adult world of the daily grind and having harsh consequences to your actions. But that's not your path. Some of you may be in a hurry to become adults. Don't worry, you'll get there soon enough. But not quite yet. And I hope you'll soon realize that this is actually a blessing. And my hope for you is that you'll realize this sooner rather than later. And so that you will make the most out of the time that you are given. You have 4 or 5 years ahead to become who you are and be set out into the real world. So, stages, no? And to do this, to make the most out of your time in college, please allow me to share just 3 pieces of advice from looking back on my own journey so far. My first advice, okay, is actually simple, but and hopefully fun. My first advice is to make friends outside your, to make friends, and to make friends outside your circle. In college, you'll have the opportunity to meet people from different places and from different backgrounds and circumstances than you. I believe for many of you marching today, you actually been together, you know each other for many, many years, batchmates, even classmates since elementary school, maybe even since preschool, nursery. So, I hope you have made great friendships here and that you keep them. But I also hope you will make new ones in college, and not only with students from other Chinese schools. Don't get me wrong, I'm from a Chinese school as well. I went to Jubilee Christian Academy for my elementary school, and there's nothing wrong with that. What I'm saying here is that people have a natural tendency to spend time with people who are like themselves, you know. We have common background, common interests, but then you'll discover that you actually have a lot of common interests with all kinds of people. And it would be a big loss if you don't open up to the possibilities of making friends outside your immediate circle. When I first went abroad for study, I sort of didn't have a choice. So fresh out of college, I flew to Italy to study physics and live independently for the first time. At the time, I was the only student from the Philippines in my batch. We were 30 diploma students at the International Center for Theoretical Physics, or ICTP for short. And coming from more than 20 different countries, maraming UN. All of us are scholars from the developing world. My first roommate was from Trinidad and Tobago, which I only heard of before then in the Mixed Universe pageant. And then I moved to a room at the house of an old Italian couple, and there I had housemates from Vietnam and Colombia. I had a classmate from Cuba, and I learned that they were great in math. If you're good in math here in St. Jude, they are even levels higher. They just do it very well. So I asked him for help to solve my physics problems in high energy physics. But more than that, he also taught me how to play dominoes competitively. We had fun playing dominoes in our free time. So I had classmates from Brazil, Venezuela, Papua New Guinea, Madagascar, Egypt, Palestine. And when I hear news from these countries, even up to today, I think of my friends from them. It's not an abstract thing, and you don't generalize or have prejudices about these countries or these people, because you actually make friends with people from these places. And we have gone our separate ways since, but I will always look back on that time as one of the turning points of my life and one of the happiest too. So I hope you make the most out of your friendships, whether you're staying here in the country or going abroad for college. My second piece of advice is about learning. And my advice is to learn for learning's sake. It's strange, but it's actually the best way to do it. If you haven't learned to do this yet in your 2 years of intensive study, then college is the best opportunity to start. Some people, they learn it even later than college, so I suggest you do it as early as you can. College may seem like a continuation of high school, but actually, for the first time in your life, you'll be more responsible for your learning than your teachers. In fact, you'll be choosing your teachers in college. Sometimes even the courses you can choose. So my advice is to take your learning into your own hands. Learn your lessons not just to pass the test or the course or to graduate. Of course, you want to do that too. But more importantly, learn so that you will actually learn something. Learn outside the classroom too. Read books not assigned in class. Read the classics. Read widely. Read the books your friends read. Make them read the books you read and discuss. This is what college is for. In college, I myself went to Ateneo. I actually spent a lot of time at the library. I was a regular there. I browsed through the bookshelves, and I knew all the physics books. There's only a few sections for the physics books. When I went to Italy at ICTP, they had a whole library just of physics books. So I was in heaven. I devoured them. And I even read the non-physics books that caught my interest. At Princeton, where I did my PhD, the libraries were huge, like from the movies, no? There's even a novel that's set in the library there. I still got to go, but not as much, because I had to focus on my own research. And now that I'm working, I teach, but I don't get to go to the library, spend much time in the libraries anymore. And I miss it. I actually do. But that is life. There's a time for everything, and I'm telling you that college is your time for this luxury. The time to read widely and deeply, and to learn to love learning for learning's sake. And that will continue on. So I hope you do. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, college is the time to find yourself. It's the time to become more independent and self-reliant, to make more choices for yourself. And so it is also the time to learn about yourself more. Of course, you learned a lot about yourself in these last 2 years, but you will only grow in other dimensions because you'll start to let out your wings, I hope. So pay attention. Who is this you? Who is this who you are becoming? Who is it that you would like to become? Because you're not there yet, but you're getting there. So listen to yourself, learn to trust yourself, and most of all, be kind to yourself. Take your time. Again, you have this luxury. You're so lucky. And that's what college is for. It was in college when I first read the book, Letters to a Young Poet by the German language poet Reinabelle Reyes. It's a great book. It's a collection of letters that Rilke wrote to a young aspiring poet who wrote to him and sought his advice. Of course, now you can Facebook message or tweet or email your hero. Then you had to write them an actual letter, mail it to them. And then, sometimes they reply. So that's also practical advice. You can just email your hero professors and they will reply. They might reply. Maybe Elon Musk. So, this book left a powerful impact on me. Since then, I found myself coming back to this book several times over the years. And usually during those points in my life where I felt that I'm on a crossroads. It spoke to me and I hope it speaks to you too. I hope you find it. But I'll share here the words that have stayed with me and reassured me throughout all these years. Rilke said, "Be patient toward all that is unsolved in your heart and try to love the questions themselves. Like locked rooms and like books that are written in a very foreign tongue. Do not now seek the answers which cannot be given to you because you will not be able to live them. And the point is to live everything. Live the questions now. Perhaps you will then gradually, without noticing it, live along some distant day into the answer." I was reading this when I was 17, 21, 25, 28. And you know what? This is in fact precisely what I find myself doing. So I leave you with this. And a sincere wish that all of you, each and every one of 41 of you, have a fruitful time in college. Enjoy it, cherish it. Be curious, be open, and most of all, be yourself. That is, become yourself. Take heed and pay attention, because the person you will become will be who you are for the rest of your life. Once again, congratulations and good luck.